There we go. We're live. That's nice. So I was looking for a few things here last minute. Wasn't able to find. So I'm going to shave with one of my double ducks today. Double duck is something, if you look on my videos, you'll see I put a little information on one of them. These are from back in the 40s and 50s. Let me shut my phone off so it doesn't make any noise. Any more noise, I should say. So I'm going to go ahead and give her a strap. I usually give about 10 per size. Like so. Want to give as many tips and hacks, whatever you want to call them, along the way as I can as I go while I'm live. And then, of course, if you want to make a comment and say something, then maybe I'll see that. Let me just leave this. Click like that. See if that helps something. Okay, good. Now, one of the ways you can check to see if your razor is shaving sharp is to drag it gently across your finger. Let me turn it this way so you can see it from my point of view. And you take it gently across like so. If it glides smoothly, let me put the back on it. If it glides smoothly, not sharp. That's why it's gliding. If you feel a little bit of resistance as you go across, that's what you're looking for. It's biting into that nail a little bit. So be cautious about that. You don't want to hacking your nails off. That would be a bad idea. But if you do so gently, and I do this with my kitchen knives as well, just a little bit of a wipe across your nail will tell you right away the whole story, whether it's sharp or not. Today I'm going to be using this product here called Shiner Gold. It says time to shine, time to shine, time to shine, time to shine on the back. It's got price tag on the way here, but it's got goat's milk, shea butter, olive oil, vitamin E oil, black coconut oil, spearmint oil. That's the part that smells nice. And no artificial ingredients. And some sort of distilled water or something else in there like that. But that gives you kind of an idea what that's like. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is the first time I'm opening it and using it. So you can see it's trying to get a little light on it. So you can see it's a nice, clean, shiny looking product. Smells fresh. That's always a good start, but I will shave with it and give you any comments along the way as I see how it performs. First of all, we can see how it lathers up. Also had a young cowboy asking me about nicks and cuts as you go along the way. What to do with those. I was looking for my Styptic pencil. I guess I need a new one. I don't see one in my closet, my cabinet over here. I haven't used one in a long time. I guess I've gotten pretty good at the shaping thing. I don't generally nick myself that much. Not to the point that I want to put my hands on a Styptic pencil on a regular basis. A Styptic pencil is very much like a pencil. It's about 5-6 inches long or so, maybe about as big around as your pinky. A bit of a point on one end. A couple of points about it. It's alum, which is a very desiccating or drying kind of a product. If you put that on tiny little scrapes, little bumps and imperfections that might get sawn off as you're using your straight razor, then those it helps seal that up, seal up the little capillary action on that. If you give yourself a big old whack, you're not going to be using a Styptic pencil. It's not going to do anything for it. Another thing about a Styptic pencil, I'll get one when I remember, and I'll show it on one of my live shows. But if you get one, remember that it works when it's dry. If you wet it, rinse it off or whatever, make sure you still have a dry part that you can go and apply. That's what I've found. I don't know that that's in any instructions or anything like that, but I have found that it works when it's dry and not so well when it's wet. So I'm going to use it in a dry condition. Today, hopefully I don't get any little nicks and scrapes or anything like that, but if I do, I'll show you what to do. I'm going to use a little toilet paper is what I'm going to do, or just give it a wipe with a bit of soap. These are a couple of different things you can do. So, trying to work up a little bit of lather and see what lather. Can't talk some days. Again, I also want to give, along my tips and tricks, one of the first things I want you to know, and I'll remind you every time I do this, be calm. You got to be in the right frame of mind to be shaving with a piece of razor sharp steel across your face. I'm going to wet your face. Water should be as warm as you can take it. Your hands basically are more sensitive than your face, so as hot as your hands can take it is going to be the limiting factor. So your face will be fine. You get it as hot as you can on your hands, your face will be okay. Don't worry about that part of it. You think your face is all that sensitive, but no, really your fingers were made to figure out things before your face ever was. You wouldn't stick your face in some place that you hadn't stuck your fingers in first. So that makes a nice lather. And minty, I like that part. That's pleasant. So we've got our razor ready to go. And I promised in the description that I would talk about diagonal strokes. I'm not going to show you those because I'm going to suggest you never, ever, ever use diagonal strokes. What I'm talking about is, and I've got the back of the razor here because I'm not going to put the sharp side on my face and try to show you this because the one time that I did try it, I was up on my upper lip when I used to shave that, and I went diagonal and I sliced it wide, about an inch long gash that I had, only about an 1/8 inch across, and it wasn't like it was straight into the lip. I'm not a plug idiot, but I did slice off a layer of skin that was fairly deep. It bled like crazy. I had to actually put a Band-Aid on to staunch the flow. But there is one case where you might want to have to use diagonal strokes. That's if your beard is as coarse as boar's bristles, do it that way. But guess what? Nobody's is. You don't need to do that. You can always come back and do a second pass. Here's what I'm talking about. If you were to put your blade across here, and instead of going straight down, you came across like so, what it does, this is the benefit of it that I read about, what it will do for you is it gives you a sawing action, an additional sawing action, as opposed to just slicing across those hairs. It would actually slice across those hairs like a saw. You don't need to do that. Razors, if they're nice and sharp, will do just fine. Now you can see I haven't shaved in a week. I didn't go to Bible study Tuesday night. My guts were off and I wasn't feeling well, so I just zoomed into the Kingdom Hall and paid attention to the Bible instruction that I got that night. That way, I'm thankful that we've got that kind of technology, but I didn't want to be there at the hall and moaning and groaning about my guts, which were not in good shape. So this is a whole week of not shaving. I usually shave on Tuesdays, if you didn't know. Those of you who know me know that. My pattern is to take a couple of nice long, wide strokes on each cheek. Then I come across and get the top, stopping just short of the mustache. And then come the other side, starting just after the mustache. I'll come across like so. Then I lift my mustache and I come across. To trim any errant hairs there. And the other side. Kind of trying to stay with the corner of the lip as the line of demarcation for the mustache. I don't really want it doing anything below that. Anything below your lip, to my mind, that's beard. It's not mustache anymore. There we go. Now, I got the top part of the lower lip. This, by the way, is so very good for your face. Keeps you young looking because you're exercising the muscles that control your face. So as you do this, this is a good thing to do. Somebody watched one of my earlier videos and said, hey, don't keep your water running all the time. You're just wasting it. And I was like, I can do that. I'm a reformed man now. I try to accommodate. All right, this side's difficult because I'm shaving in my iPad, not using a mirror. So there's a slight delay. feedback is not perfect, and it doesn't give me the best look on the left side of my face. So anyway, get a little more hot water here. Moisten my face again. I need to make a little more lather here. And the way I do, I usually go up and down, kind of pump it a little bit, and work my way around as well, until I get something that resembles a lather. Most of it up on my brush. And then I continue to develop lather on my face. Doesn't feel bad either. It's nice. Really do like the minty smell on this. I feel like my face is well lubricated, that the blade is gliding effortlessly over my skin. Second pass, going upward. Or more specifically, I'm going opposite the direction of the hair growth for me. If your hair grows some other different way, you want to go with it the first time and against it the second time, and you get the real short ones that way. Get it real smooth. My upward stroke, or I shouldn't say that, my cheek strokes, I line up. My face is not even, so I can't really go and just make sure that I'm shaving exactly the same way and the sideburns are the same length. So I use my ears. Right here, the bottom edge of that hole right there is what I aim for when I'm coming for my stroke, either down or up. Go like so, and do the same thing on the other side. And so it's as even as my face is. See, just stop about there. Once in a while, you got to trim your mustache a little more. You can come in here like this. Get the ones from the inside. Yeah, it looks like we got a little bit of a nick there. So I'll be able to show that young cowboy what to do with that. Just a little bit. Across the chin, this soap doesn't taste bad either. Not that you want to be eating your soap, but taste the coconut. And I don't know why I hold my chin when I'm doing this, because I'm not really pulling the skin tight. It just kind of gives me something to do, I guess. You know, with the hand working off the other, I can sometimes rest my hand against the knuckles here, and that gives me a pivot point, a fulcrum. Guess it doesn't really do that. I don't know why I do it. Guess I won't ever know. It just feels right. You do what feels right for your face. All right, let's rinse. You might want to know, is it hot water or cold water that you rinse with? Again, depends on what you like. I've heard arguments either way. Leave the pores open. Use hot water. Good for you. Leave it that way. The old school way was use cold water. It tightens up those pores and get your face set for the rest of the day. Me, it just kind of depends on the weather. When it's hot, sometimes I like it a little bit cold on the water. Here in Phoenix, our water doesn't get all that cold anyway. But it's a little more refreshing feeling to use cold water at the end of a shave. Other times, I like the hot water, especially if it's cold out. You're going to be facing the cold, and I feel like a little warm water feels good. So, now what to do with that nick? There we go. Not terribly offensive, but it is It's causing a little bit of blood, and you don't want to be walking around with dried blood on your face. So what you're going to do, if you have a Styptic pencil, you would just dab at it, let it set for a bit, kind of clean around it a little bit and see how it's doing. If it looks like it stopped bleeding, just leave it. Then come in, and the Styptic will sometimes leave a bit of a white residue around it, so you want to wipe that off a little bit like that. No big deal. But what we're going to do is just take a little tissue and put that on there and let that dry on there. When it's good and dry, basically sealed itself up, then you can go ahead and pull that out. But don't do it too early, because then you just end up bleeding again. So proper razor maintenance, make sure that you dry it. It's going to be terribly dry. Fold it back up, put it up on your shelf until the next time. All right, so I just wanted to remind you of your cow bees. Be cautious, be curious, be liking and subscribing, but also make sure that you're erudite. Be erudite, my friends.